Have you ever wondered how barbers create those perfect fade haircuts that blend seamlessly and look so sharp? What if I told you that you could achieve the same professional-looking fade right from the comfort of your own home? No more waiting for appointments or spending a fortune on haircuts. In this ultimate guide, I'm going to show you exactly how to cut the perfect fade at home, step by step. Whether you're aiming for a low fade, mid fade, or high fade, by the end of this video, you'll have the skills and confidence to rock your own fresh fade. So grab your clippers and let's dive right in. A fade haircut is one of the most versatile and stylish looks you can achieve, whether you prefer a subtle low fade or a bold high fade. It's a popular choice for men of all ages, and while it's often something people get professionally done, there's no reason you can't master it at home. Sure, it takes a little practice, but with the right tools, the right technique, and some patience, you can get the same clean, blended look your barber would deliver. The fade consists of two elements. The hair gradually shortens as you move down the head from top to bottom, and the hair length transitions smoothly between different levels. This means that a fade requires skillful blending. Luckily, with the right guidance, you can learn how to execute a fade haircut that looks sharp and fresh. Step 1. Gather your tools. Before you even think about cutting your hair, make sure you've got the right tools. The key to achieving a professional-looking fade starts with having the right equipment. You don't need the most expensive clippers, but you should invest in a decent quality set. Here's what you'll need. A good clipper set is essential. Choose one that comes with multiple guard sizes from 0 to 8. The more guard options you have, the more flexibility you'll have in achieving the perfect fade. Make sure your clippers have an adjustable lever, which allows you to fine-tune the length of your hair. These are used to trim any uneven sections, especially on the top. A fine-tooth comb is ideal for working through any tangles. You'll need a large mirror to see the front and sides of your head. A smaller handheld mirror is crucial to check the back of your head. Having two mirrors will ensure you can see every angle, making sure your fade is even. Neck strips or towels are helpful for keeping the hair off your shoulders and creating a clean work area. A towel is also useful for wiping your hands and clippers throughout the process. Once you've gathered everything, let's get into the steps to create your perfect fade. Step 2. Decide on your fade type. Not all fades are the same, and it's important to decide which style you're going for. The fade's length and position will determine the overall look, so let's go over the three main types. Low fade. This is the most subtle fade and starts just above the ear. It blends the hair gradually into the skin, keeping the top section longer while the sides and back are shaved short. This fade is often considered the most versatile and professional. Mid fade. The mid fade begins around the temples, higher than the low fade, but not as high as the high fade. It's a more noticeable transition, offering a clean, sharp look that's still wearable in both casual and professional settings. High fade. A high fade starts higher on the head, often around the crown, and offers a bolder, more dramatic look. It's ideal for those looking to make a statement and want a fade that stands out. Once you've decided which fade you want, this will guide your next steps, as the placement of your fade line depends on the type you choose. Step 3. Prepare your hair. Now that you've got the right tools and you know what type of fade you want, it's time to prep your hair. Make sure your hair is clean, dry, and combed through. Start by washing your hair with shampoo and conditioner to remove any product buildup and tangles. Once your hair is clean, towel dry it thoroughly. It's important that your hair is dry because cutting wet hair can result in uneven lengths and a less accurate fade. Next, comb your hair in the direction that you usually wear it. This gives you a good idea of how the hair will behave when you're cutting it. If you have longer hair on top, it's important to comb it out of the way so you can focus on the fade. Step 4. Establish the fade line. The fade line is the point at which your fade starts. This line will separate the longer hair on top from the shorter hair on the sides and back. For a low fade, this line should start just above the ear. For a mid fade, it should be positioned near the temples. For a high fade, the fade line should be placed closer to the crown of your head. To create the fade line, use your clippers with a short guard, such as a 1 or 2. Start at the point where you want the fade to begin and use an upward flicking motion to cut the hair. This flicking motion helps avoid any harsh lines. Keep the clipper steady as you work your way around your head. Ensure the fade line is even by using a mirror to check from all angles. Step 5. Begin cutting the sides and back. With your fade line established, it's time to focus on the sides and back. This part of the fade is where the real blending happens. Start with a guard that's shorter than the one you used for the top section, typically around a 1 or 2, and begin cutting from the bottom up. Use the same upward flicking motion to ensure a smooth transition from short to long. As you move up, you'll notice the hair gradually becomes shorter. This is the blending process, where you'll want to carefully taper the hair from the fade line up to the top. To ensure that the fade is smooth and free of harsh lines, move to the next guard size, typically a 3 or 4, and continue blending, starting slightly below the fade line. Step 6. Blend the sections. This is where your patience will really pay off. Blending is key to achieving that seamless fade. To blend, use a technique called clipper over comb. This involves holding the comb at an angle and using the clippers to trim through the hair that sticks out. As you blend, remember that the goal is to create a smooth, gradual transition from the shortest part of the fade to the longer top section. Keep checking your progress in the mirror to make sure everything is blending well. If you see any harsh lines, go back over them with a slightly longer guard or use the clipper over comb method to smooth them out. Step 7. Detail the fade. After blending the sides and back, take a moment to check for any areas that still need fine-tuning. You'll often find that the fade isn't perfectly smooth in certain places, so it's important to make adjustments. If necessary, use the shorter guard and lightly go over the areas where you see uneven blending. Be cautious not to take off too much hair. The goal is to just smooth out the transitions. If you see areas where the fade is too short or too harsh, carefully blend them into the longer sections. Step 8. Clean up the edges. Now that the fade is complete, it's time to clean up the edges for a sharp, polished look. Take a smaller trimmer or edger and use it to clean up the lines along your sideburns, around the ears, and along the neckline. For the neckline, it's a good idea to create a straight line for a clean, crisp finish. Use the trimmer to carefully outline the edges of the fade, making sure the lines are neat and symmetrical. This step adds definition and ensures that the fade looks sharp, especially when viewed from the front. Step 9. Style and maintain your fade. After all the hard work, it's time to style your hair. Use a small amount of pomade, wax, or gel to style the top of your hair, depending on the look you want to achieve. Run your fingers through your hair to give it texture or use a comb for a sleek finish. To maintain your fade, you'll need to trim it regularly, usually every 1 to 2 weeks. You can touch up your fade as it grows out to keep the lines sharp and the blend smooth. Well, there you have it. You've now learned how to master the perfect fade haircut at home. With the right tools and a little practice, you can achieve a fade that looks just as fresh as one from the barbershop. Remember, take your time, check your progress from all angles, and don't be afraid to go back and make small adjustments. Thank you for watching, and if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more great tips on mastering your style. Now go rock that fade with confidence.